YouTube, Glow Yard Gang, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and beyond. Welcome to the first episode of We Talk Combats. Myself, King. You may know me from other shows we have here, but it's not about me right now. I have a few special, not guests today, but hosts with me, helping me talk about not only combat sports, but sports entertainment mostly. And I'm going to introduce them right now. First and foremost, my lovely queen, my wife. She does most of the time the intros on Cap and Crown, We Talk Mavs, other things like that. Most folks that watch anything that we do, Glow Sun production related, you know her already. But first, what up, queen? What up, babe? How you feeling?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing good. How you doing, babe?
I'm good, babe. Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
Next, we have my, I guess, big little bro. Got taller than me. That's a different story. I'm still mad about that to this day. But he does stuff on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. He has a few viral videos himself. And that's my guy, Travis. What up, Travis?
How y'all doing? Bro? Let's go. Y'all see my shirt?
We also have another brother of mine, basically a brother from another mother, my best man, my homeboy, my barber, and everything in between paws. What up, Justin, man? How you feeling?
Clearly, the colorism is already in effect today. The dark-skinned brother went last, but I'm going to rock out for you today. How y'all doing?
Can't complain. Appreciate all y'all for doing this, first and foremost. We've been planning this for a while. First episode, sorry, we had technical difficulties and all, so sorry we started a little late. But before we continue and go on, we do have another host that couldn't join us today, our guy, Devin. We just wanted to show prayers to him in case he's watching this, him or his family. They're going through a tough time right now, major incident or whatever. So, bro, prayers to you, your family, Dev. You know we talk to you or whatever when we're off the camera, but we just want to let everybody know we will have a fifth host, but he just had to deal with stuff today. But other than that, let's get the mood's high. Let's talk about what we love here, y'all. I guess before we start, I should let you guys know this. We'll be talking. This show will be a show from our perspective. As you can see, as he said, colorism, a black guy talking about another black guy that's just like black people. But we're going to talk about combat sports and entertainment that includes WWE mainly. So if you're a big WWE fan, come here and subscribe to the channel, like all that nonsense. You're going to love it here. We also talk a little bit about boxing and mixed martial arts as well. Not as much, but we do. I'm not really into it as much. It's reasonings behind that. We can talk about that as well, different shows and all that. But when big things happen, big situations, big shows, we'll be covering that as well. But yeah, welcome. Thank everybody for tuning in. First and foremost, I guess we're going to talk about WrestleMania. That did happen this past week, last Saturday and Sunday, big weekend. I know some folks were, I guess, excited about the outcome. Some other folks weren't as happy. So I'm going to get each one of you guys' opinions about, I guess, each night. We can start with Saturday first and go to Sunday from there. And just your overall opinion on the show. But I'll start with you, bro, Justin over there. Let me know your opinion on night one of WrestleMania, bro, what you thought about it. I guess what you would have had better and whatever you feel, bro.
All right. Night one was some highs, but unfortunately mostly lows. The start of it, we all can probably come together and say that Jey Uso winning was top tier for us. So I ain't gonna get too heavy in that. We all can comment on that. So shout out to Jey Uso for finally doing it. Shout out for Jey Uso for taking one too many drinks right afterwards. That's my man. I mess with you. I rocks with you. After that, to me, I think the crowd was at an all-time, well, not an all-time high, but they was definitely at a high. And then you come with the tag team match right afterwards with the New Day. And I love the fact that the New Day won. Clearly, this theme of a certain particular type of people winning, we all for that. So we was definitely repping that. But it just wasn't a great match, unfortunately. So you really had to bring your A game. I don't know whether that was writing. I don't know whether that was just a bad play on the card itself. But Smackdown has better tag matches than what I saw on there. So the Street Profits winning the tag team titles that Friday, and then fast forward to them retaining it. I'm not going to spoil too much, but them retaining it this past Friday, much better tag team matches that could have been in place for that. But yeah, just moving along. I truly like clearly the last match was epic. But unfortunately, I think I might be alone. So I'll say this for the last match. I don't like the ending of the last match. I'm quite sure I might be. You see Travis, the way he just, you saw the head just go like that, right? He wasn't rocking for what I was saying, and it's okay. Right now, we are at a new time in wrestling, where as though they're starting to induct champions, high level matches into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is the only reason why I had what I'm saying, what I'm about to say. That match was to me, it was a great match going through it, the ups and downs, all that stuff with Roman, with Seth, with CM Punk. The crowd was just taking turns voting or cheering for that person who they love. So you heard the Roman chants, the O's for Seth, the CM Punk chants. Everybody was getting love, and to me, it should have just ended. It should have just had a regular ending. The fact that Paul Heyman did what he did. And a second note, if that wasn't to me personally, I don't know how these people feel. I love my family, but I don't like pause-worthy moments. When Heyman low blow Roman Reigns and he stuck it and then he jiggled. We don't do the jiggles. So that took that. Now that's not the reason, but I don't like the Paul Heyman angle. I think it took away from a great match, and this match cannot be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I think it's just got to be a clean finish. Those type of matches go in the Hall of Fame. So if I'm a wrestler, that's on my mind the whole entire time. So I'm gonna let everybody else go too. I don't want to go talk too much about every individual match. We can definitely take turns. But that's my overall start to finish. In between, it was like, but the ending was okay. The ending was great.
So this is what I'll do then, because I actually had to go back. I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't the greatest WrestleMania ever, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go back and kind of look at the matches and see like the lineup and say, hey, okay, I remember that happened and that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you can give your overall opinion, like I said, about how you feel about WrestleMania, the first night, like kind of like what Justin just did, and then I'll go through the matches individually. We can give like a letter grade. You feel me? That
works.
I feel like the way we should do it. So, Queen, babe, I guess we'll go to you next. How did you feel about WrestleMania Night 1? You outside with a nice sun and all on your nice skin. Sorry.
So I kind of mirrored what Justin kind of felt. Really for me, like the Uso match against Gunther was really nice personally. Like I thought it had some good angles. There's a little bit of, a little bit of violence going on in there, but I liked the tap out. I thought the tap out was a nice finish. I thought that really kind of boosted Jay into like another stratosphere, because it's like, oh, okay, well, I got a WrestleMania tap out. Like that's awesome. And it was a belt match. You know what I mean? But my other, like, I guess, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I liked the Jade and Naomi match. I thought both their outfits were excellent. Their move sets were excellent. I thought it looked really clean. Everything was sold really well. Like I thought it was sold really well. I really enjoyed the little weatherman at the beginning of the match. I thought that was a little cool little storm reference. But other than that, like I didn't really I didn't really feel like the other matches to me really were that interesting. Just in terms of perhaps being the talent, like the Charlotte Flair match, didn't care as much for that one. The final match, I kind of did feel like was a little bit of a disappointment, though. Like it was a triple threat, and I kind of wanted more, I guess, to lead up to that. It felt kind of like they kind of copped out the ending. Like that's my thoughts. I kind of felt like they just kind of like wrapped it up real quick and like, well, now we'll start the next story. And I didn't like that too much. But that was my thoughts about the first night.
I can rock with it. All right. Appreciate you, babe. Trev, what you got to say, Trev? What's your opinions on night 1 of WrestleMania?
Night 1? Actually, for me, night 1 was actually my favorite night of the whole event.
Okay.
Like from the only thing I didn't like from that first night of WrestleMania was the tag team match. I felt like it could have been better.
Okay.
The kind of elaborate what Justin and Queen said. From Jey Uso winning, which was great. The tag team match being garbage. The triple threat. I actually like the triple threat. I ain't had no problem with the triple threat.
So you was
Yeah, I'm about to say,
loving. I'm about to say you was loving the El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix. That was the highlight.
I wanted to get to them.
No, we're gonna leave that for him. That because that's actually his boy.
Yeah, let me.
That was awesome. I'm gonna leave that all up to him.
Go ahead, Trev. You got anything else to say? Go ahead. I won't cut your time.
All right, but yeah, from the triple threat, what's that deal? The World Championship match.
Yep.
Naomi and Jade. That
Tiffany
was cool.
and Charlotte, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight. Yep. LA Knight and your boy.
Was that night? I thought that was that night too.
I think it was night one.
That was night
one.
But
we don't want to talk about that right now because I'm still kind of hurt. I'm still trying to heal. For that loss because y'all know that's my boy.
So you an LA Knight fan?
Yes, I am.
Travis is a huge.
I'm a huge LA Knight fan.
And LA Knight.
That's my guy. I have no problem saying that's my guy.
We are all from Maryland. Well, Queen technically isn't from Maryland, but she's in Maryland. You feel me? So, and LA Knight is from Hagerstown, which is over in Frederick, and power to the people again. People in Frederick and all don't really have the greatest reputation with folks of our color. But Travis, for some reason, loves LA Knight, and I always give him
he always give him a hard time.
Yeah, I always do. But no, he loves LA Knight. LA Knight's talented and all that stuff. I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's an older guy, though. I don't see him doing too much because of his age, because of him starting that late in his career. But I mean, he could possibly win the belt once, maybe twice, something like that. But I don't see him to be like a multi-time champion. That's just always been my thing with LA Knight. But let me just give my quick opinion. I'm like you, Travis. I actually enjoyed night one. I thought night one was the better night of WrestleMania, in my opinion. I thought night two had like a couple okay matches and all, but night one is where people, let's see, the World Heavyweight Championship, people hated that. I love that. I wanted Jey Uso to win that title so badly. I wanted Jey Uso to get over it, finish his story. I heard all the stuff about Cody Rhodes returning, having his story and all that. Well, I'm like, Rikishi was there. He never won the title. It was a story for Jey Uso the same way. No one talks about that the same way. I wanted him to do that. And he got the story done. I was okay with the tap out. I thought that was awesome. I see that's a thing. That's something they're adding to Gunther's character. I should say, like, if you aren't paying attention to it, people are mad about that. But he's tapping out the guys, little guys that he bullies and all. If they finally get a victory over him, the way that you bully him or you beat him is to bully the bully. And I like that that's a part of his character. I think that's okay. If you're paying attention to the overall, like I say, character aspect or arc of him, I thought that was perfectly fine. The tag team match was trash. They shouldn't have had that. They could have had either one of the tag team matches from the SmackDown before WrestleMania or the ladder match. What was the ladder match, right? It was a TLC. Was it ladder?
It was a TLC match.
Oh, TLC match. I think it was TLC. Yeah,
it was a TLC match. If you want to add that too.
Yeah, and amputee. But the TLC match, I thought that could have been either of those could have been on the card instead of that. That was just trash. That match was horrible. I hated that it took this long for New Day to get their moment. It doesn't feel right. Like the New Day don't even need the belts right now. Like that's how I feel, and it's horrible because they took that away from them. Shout out to Triple H for that one. We'll get into that later on. But I thought it was great that El Grande Americano won. I knew he was going to lose if Rey Mysterio was there. I knew Rey Mysterio was going to win. This is not even like a hating. I know what the ultimate angle is to unmask him, and I know the ultimate product. I think to unmask him right now and to make him lose would be missing out on some major heat that is in wrestling right now. Like as long as the overall story and the ending of the story is like somebody beating him, which probably will be Rey Fenix now because they have their little beef. Like I think that's perfectly fine. You can't do a Booker T moment like with Triple H where you just destroy him and you talk all this stuff and do that. But again, that's a different story. Jade and Naomi, I thought they put on a great show for what it's worth. For Jade finally getting that was the first ever women's match, singles match without a stipulation or a title involved, where it's just two women one-on-one with nothing involved in WrestleMania history. I thought they did an awesome job. I thought they sold well for each other. There was some awesome spots. That face buster or outside the ring by Naomi on Jade. I thought that was awesome. I thought Jade catching Naomi out of the air with the the blockbuster, whatever like that. That was awesome. I just thought there was some awesome. It was some, mistakes and all, but that's going to happen in the match. But I thought overall it was a very entertaining Very great match for them to have on both sides. I really didn't want Naomi to lose. I knew she was going to lose though, but it was good to put up a fight. Other than that, Jake, your boy LA Knight and Jacob 5-2, we knew that was going to happen. I thought Solo Sikoa should have had that first. I heard that was the original plan, but TKO decided to just go with Jacob right now, which I understand. They put on a decent match, probably everything I expected. Nothing really negative to say about it. I thought it was a good match. And then what was it? The Charlotte. I thought Charlotte and Tiffany. Charlotte Flair sandbagged Tiffany a bunch of times.
What does that mean?
She basically. Let me stop talking about it. Overall, I thought it was a nice show because I'm breaking it down now. I don't want to go into breakdowns really.
To tell you the truth, I thought Tiffany was going to lose.
So I think it was, but sandbagging means where you don't look. Hulk Hogan used to sandbag people where it don't look like he's taking stuff as much. Like when that match, it looked like Tiffany was getting her butt whipped. Whenever Tiffany had offense going, you didn't feel like Charlotte was getting her butt whipped. Oh, the move looked weird or something like
no
that.
Self?
Kind of in a way, but even more than that, what it's like, even beyond that, where it's like you go out of character to push yourself to look like they don't look as good as you. Like all the moves you would do are damn near stiff, where it's like it hurts you. Like Tiffany was getting hurt. You feel like Tiffany was getting her butt whipped by Charlotte, and Tiffany was trying to respect Charlotte and do moves to her, and Charlotte was kind of like it was a buckle. I think a buckle like bomb or something like that they did, where they did like kind of like a Canadian destroyer or something like that, and then she was supposed to do it, and it was like nasty because Charlotte didn't take the move and make it look good. You feel me, for her and all that stuff, but Tiffany was taking a butt whipping. I understand it was a passing of the torch type thing, but like, and you gotta get your worth and all after all that happened. But Charlotte's not the one to be doing that based off her reputation and all that was going on. So I thought the match was brutal. It was gruesome. It did well for Tiffany, but again, I don't think it does anything for Charlotte. So we'll see what Charlotte comes from there. But overall, triple threat match. I thought the triple threat match was awesome. I knew that was going to be the ending, but I thought that had to be the ending because I thought Seth Rollins has to do something about his character. Seth Rollins is kind of like Cody Rhodes to me. He's a song. And I think he has to kind of get his character right so people would always cheer him and not be the third wheel. So he had to win. He lost to CM Punk a few times, and I thought he had to be a Heyman guy as well to kind of up his character. So I was okay with that. But I understand what you were saying as well, Justin. I don't want to like downplay it.
No,
but in total, I guess I should have kept the matches in front of me, but we can run down the matches and just give them grade. We can just give them, A is a passing grade, A+ or whatever, and F is a failing grade. But let's start with the first match. We had Gunther. I should say Jey Uso defeats Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Let's start with you again, Justin. What's your grade for this?
I get at a strong A.
Strong A. Okay, I like that. Any reasons? Basic reasons, real quick.
I like the fact that because it was a personal match for Jey, he ended the match personally.
Okay.
By doing the other person's finisher is a personal thing. That's why. Way to end it. Mm-hmm.
Queen, let me go with you next. What's your grade for this, babe?
So I would say an A- actually, because I do feel like for the majority of the match, Gunther looked way better than Jey, but also like obviously Jey still won though, so he had to put on a show himself. I do feel like Gunther definitely helped him a lot in that match to kind of help him put on a great match. But I'd say A- though, because it was still one of the best match. It was the best match of the night, actually, I would say.
What about you, Travis?
I give it an A. Just for that build up from the night before. I'm gonna say that night before, but that Raw before Mania, the whole getting beat up and all that stuff, and him putting his brother's blood all on his putting his brother's blood on his chest, all that. So that build up within itself, I was like, and making him tap out from the sleeper hold and everything. So I gotta give it an A.
I'm gonna give it a B-. I'm gonna give it a B- because I'll probably never watch the match again. I think the build-up is what it's about. I think the outcome is what it's about for me. They did the right thing with that one. I like the way the match ended. I would probably watch the intro and the ending of the match. That's all I would watch, and that's perfectly fine for this for me because it's Jey Uso. But I'm glad he got the championship, so I would give it a B-. But next match, let's go with the War Raiders. New Day versus the War Raiders. Let's start with you this time, Travis. What do you give this grade?
Is there anything at low I could give it an F?
No, so you basically giving it F minus. Are you saying?
Yes.
F minus minus minus. Any
Yes.
reasons needed?
Yes.
Any reasons needed?
Man, that it's just the whole match was just trash. To me, it was trash.
I agree with you.
Like it just didn't feel like anything.
I agree.
Like the whole build up and everything was just
BS.
This is how I feel. Just a straight.
No need for the match. I understand.
No need for the match.
Yeah.
Queen, what's your grade?
So just because I don't want to be mean and give anybody an F, I will give it a D though, because I just feel like the New Day story has kind of gotten stale anyways. So it just kind of was a very forgettable match. Like I don't really remember anything about the match. Again, I only give it a D because the New Day is there and that's representation. So I didn't want to give them an F for that. But yeah, it was just a forgettable match. Just forgettable.
All right, Justin, what you guys say, bro?
I'm gonna give it a D as well. Shout out for the New Day for winning the match first and foremost. I would like to see Big E come out, but he did not. That's why I couldn't give it higher. It could have been the same match. Big E come out, I'll bump it up one. But no, I'm just giving it a D because they came out with the Black Panther attire.
They did.
My man had the Shuri outfit,
basically.
and the other one had the other one. So I'm showing love. I appreciated that. I mean, we get love for Rey Mysterio for dressing all kinds of attires and stuff like that. I'm showing love to the New Day.
I don't.
I thought, not to cut you off, but I thought it was a tribute to what's the dude from what's that? The John Gonzalez.
That's what you thought.
Like that's what I thought. That's what it gave me, but just in a different color.
I'm giving this wrestling match an F. It was trash. I'm sorry, New Day, you were part of this. I'm sorry you got to get this grade. You deserve better, but this was an F.
Do better.
Yeah, this was trash. This should not have been on WrestleMania. This is just give New Day their New Day, and they're going to win a title. You're going to give them the title. Just give them a match on the WrestleMania card. That's it. So I'm giving this an F. I thought it was trash. After that, Jade Cargill defeats Naomi. Queen, let's start with you. Since this is your favorite match, what do you think about this? What do you give it as a grade?
I think I would give it I'll give it a solid B. I'll give it a solid B. I want to give it an A because I do feel like I loved a lot of aspects of the match, but you can still tell that Jade is still a little bit green, and so there were some non-connecting moves like that, and there were some little botches in there that I did notice, unfortunately. So it kind of like took me out of the moment for a second, but overall, it still was a really good match. Again, I got love for both of them, and I feel like both of them still put on a good show. It was one again of the highlights of the night for me personally. As I said, I felt like everybody they both did a really good job, and they both looked really great in terms of their movements and their doing their move sets as well. They were actually able to complete a lot of those. But as I said, I saw some botches in there, so I can't give them the A that I want to give them, and I feel like an A minus still would be a little too generous. Jade still got some time.
You said you gave it a B plus?
Yeah, I'll give it a B plus.
Okay. What up, Justin? What do you think?
I'll give it a strong C. It was enjoyable, it was enough to watch. But unlike let's say the Jey Uso match, where as though at least I can go back and watch like the fact that he won it, I can watch that over and over again. I'm not going to watch anything about this match again. But I respect the ladies for doing what they was doing though. Like I respect that, and I respect the fact that they didn't bury Naomi, because that's what I was really looking for. Are they going to bury her? They did not. She held her own, and she continued it later on on Raw. So Smackdown. Apologies. Right. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Strong C.
I rocks with it. All right, Travis.
I'm gonna give that match a B also.
Okay. Well, B. Queen gave it a B plus. You giving it a B?
I'm giving it a B.
Okay.
It was a decent match, and for what it was, for being a women's match without any title or anything like that, but like that being attached to it. It was overall for me. It was a decent match.
I am 100% on with you, Travis. I would give it a B. Give it a solid B. I thought it was a good match. I'd actually watch this again. I thought this was Jay's best solo match so far, as far as singles match, in my opinion, in WWE. Maybe maybe in general. This may be her best singles
Yeah, I
match.
think so too. I
Like
think her body
ever.
wise, and I mean,
Mhm.
just the way that she was holding herself was different than how
Yeah.
she was before. She looked very confident in
Because
her
this was better
moves.
than a match with Nia Jax in that King of the Ring tournament.
I think this is maybe her best so far. So yeah, that's I'm gonna give it a solid B. Which you shaking your head, Justin? You could
So far,
yeah, in her career
I thought
singles.
the Tiffany match was better.
No, I didn't get an ending. It was looking like it could have been okay, but it didn't end.
Okay.
I thought that she's on. I think so. I agree with that. I think they must have took time away, and it looks like the work she's put in,
Yeah, she
maybe
put in
paying
work,
off
no
and
doubt.
all that.
Mhm.
She's put in work.
No doubt.
So it looked like her matches now. They about to push her to be a champion. They're about to push her to be champion now. Like you can see what's about to happen now. So I think a lot of matches now.
Anyways, for her.
Yes, I think a lot of matches now are going to be her best match she's ever had. But before then, I'm saying just going off of AEW and what she's done already in WWE, that was probably her best match, singles match she's ever had. Like that's what I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying. And I saw your message, TBA. But let's see. So next, let's keep it moving. Travis, you start with this one first. We got LA Knight losing his U.S. championship to Jacob Fatu. Don't be biased. Not about the overall opinion only. I mean, it can be included in your grade or whatever. But like, how was the match overall? What is your grade?
I give it I say A minus.
Okay.
I thought, even though LA Knight still lost the title, I thought it was still a great match. My favorite part of the match was the whole BFT to the moonsault to the BFT.
Off the top.
Off the top rope. I thought that little spot was amazing. And it gave Jacob basically the push that he needs to actually, be something. But I'll wait until because I actually wanted to say something else, but I'll wait until we get to the Smackdown part.
Okay.
To kind of touch on what happened next. But overall, it was a great match.
Yes, sir. What up, Justin?
Okay, we're gonna go with another C. You know, I might not do the pluses and the minuses. I'm gonna stick to the letter. And this is a C also. The C's aren't bad. These C's that's good. That's passing.
Still a passing grade.
It was a passing match. I can sit there and I enjoyed it. Did I get the oohs and ahs out of it for me personally? No, I did not get that. I am not an LA Knight fan, so that didn't sell it to me. And you know, I S with 5'2".
I felt shots coming.
I S with 5'2", but it's just I see what he is. Right, he's a monster. I get all that stuff, but I don't like all the yada means and all that. It's
becoming too much. It's becoming a catchphrase.
So I get it. He's a good dude. LA Knight he's an athlete. I love the fact his custom jump from the middle to the top thing. That takes skill to do that successfully at the end of the match over and over again.
And they do it all the time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So shout out to him for that. But it was a strong match. I give it a strong C. What you say? C? Yeah. That's what I give him.
I'm surprised he stopped doing the suplex.
Oh, run up suplex.
Yeah.
Probably hurting his back.
Yeah. What up, Queen? What's your opinion? What's your letter grade?
I don't know, all gas, no brakes, but no, I think that it was a good match. Just kind of like what Travis was saying, I felt like we got to see a lot more out of Jacob than we normally do. So I felt like he actually did look really good, and I felt like it was a well-deserved win for him. LA Knight, I enjoy him. I don't have no real cons about him. He got a big head, that's about it. But I thought it was a good match.
He has a massive pause.
Yeah,
yes.
I would probably go with Justin on that one though and give it a C. Because I do still feel like it wasn't. I just don't feel like it was a strong match, especially of the evening. Like it just kind of was. It was some time filler. But yeah, I do feel like I see I see a comment on the page. But yeah, I do feel like Jacob has superstar potential, and thankfully he's part of the right family. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna see a lot more out of him. And that this just helped push him along. But I know Travis was saying that there's a Smackdown tie-in, so I'll just keep it moving.
So you gave him what you gave him, Queen?
I gave him a C like Justin. I gave the match a C.
All right. Shout out to Larry. He says Jacob is a future superstar. I agree with you, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
I would give it. So it's wild. I was going to get his match a B minus, but the more I listen to y'all, especially Justin at the beginning, and it's WrestleMania, I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C plus. I'm gonna give it a C plus though. I feel like It was good for what it was supposed to be. Jacob got the U.S. championship. They want to make him the next guy. He is going to be one of the next guys. He's already getting like a face pop already. It's like he's not even like a heel anymore. But I don't think it was, like I said, anything. Nothing was unexpected. You feel me? Like, you already knew this was going to be. You knew what this match was going to be. They probably, I don't know if they're going to have a one-on-one match again. They probably should have something to continue with story and make it happen. But it was just to get Jacob the championship. So it is what it is.
Can I throw a flag? I'm throwing a flag. The flag is flown.
Oh.
I want to backtrack on one of my greats. I'm seeing the flow of everything, and I might have, since I started it, I might have been a little too high. That first match is a B. I take it back. That Jey Uso match is a B. I gotta have a scale.
Oh, come on.
WrestleMania, you feel me?
I gotta have a scale. You know,
I'm with you.
My reasoning didn't equate to an A. It equated to a B.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with a B. Do the flag.
My man, I'm with you. I rock with that. All right, so we're around a C grade for that match. Let's go to the next match. Rey Fenix out of nowhere. So been Rey Mysterio is defeated by El Grande Americano. We'll start with you, babe, with that point. What's your overall grade for that one?
I mean, Rey Fenix, I kind of like him a little bit more than Penta, so I feel like he's a lot more watchable, but I'm kind of just a little tired of the El Grande arc. I'm going to give that match a D.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, like Rey Fenix was the saving grace of that match, but otherwise, I just wasn't impressed. I just was bored with the match and just bored with his story, too.
What up, Travis?
Yeah, just like what Queen said, like, I really wasn't that impressed. I give the match a C, just because of Rey Fenix, because it's the new hot thing right now. I feel like at some point Chad's about to get unmasked soon, because we all know that it's him. But overall, it was a C, just a flat out C.
What up, Justin? Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. What up, Justin?
First and foremost, you don't have evidence that they're the same, although one had bloody knuckles and the other one had bloody knuckles. That was,
and they got the same tattoo on their back.
They got the same tattoo.
Some people got tattoos. Some people say,
he could be a fan. He could be an obsessed fan, though.
You know, that's what happens. You know,
really?
as long as not, Jimmy Uso's, Jey Uso's back tat. You know, we good. You know, because that's highly suspect. But when it comes to this match itself, I'm gonna give it a D. It was entertaining, so I guess C is my entertaining thing. It was entertaining. However, I don't like that Rey caught an L so quickly on this stage. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Phoenix caught this L.
Same.
I like El Grande's 450 backs, but whatever the move that he did was great.
It was like a 450 leg drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was spectacular. So it had some highs, but the overall one I don't like. I said I don't like the fact that he actually called the L. I think a DQ or something like that would have been perfect. Hell, some of the LWO boys could have came out or something like that. They could have washed it some kind of way. So it gets a D for me.
All right. Is that everybody? Who opinion did I get so far?
You.
Someone says everybody.
Yours.
All right, I'm gonna give it a C plus. Y'all give it a D. I'm gonna give it a C plus for a couple of reasons. One, Rey Mysterio was injured, so it was a audible by the WWE, so they had to have a match. Some of them spots, like you said, that reverse 450 to happen and all that was incredible. I feel like it was something they try to build now. Like Rey Fenix wasn't supposed to have this I guess time yet on the card. He's supposed to miss WrestleMania. Let's put it like it was. And for him to be on there, that's like a blessing in disguise. Like you can see him coming out to the ring and all saying, "Mama and Papa, we did this." And so was I guess his WrestleMania moment. I think also you let El Grande Americano, like I said, gather more heat, gain more heat, get to that level and all where folks really want to get him unmasked, and then that could be Rey Fenix like put over. As long as it's a finish of the story that way, I'm perfectly fine with this. Like I say, it was an audible. Rey Mysterio was going to get the win, as I've seen multiple places. He was probably going to unmask him, but why have Rey Fenix unmask him out of nowhere if they don't even have a story? So I think if you have that story built where he's actually cheating and doing this type of stuff towards Rey Fenix, with the AAA organization being, bought out and all that stuff, this can be something to actually build on him as far as beating or unmasking El Grande Americana. Next match, how many matches were on the first card? Oh, here we go. Tiffany Stratton successfully defended her women's WWE championship against Charlotte Flair. We're gonna start with you, Justin. You can go first. What was your opinion or grade on this match?
And I was going to go D first, but I'm gonna give it a C. And this is all because of Tiffany. Tiffany really showed me something. I just thought that she was, for lack of a better term, I just thought she was just a regular diva in a sense, right? Not a wrestling term diva, right? She had a certain look, and I know people like her look in a sense, right? So she can do a couple flips here and there. Boom, that's Tiffany Stratton. However, to get her, I don't know how far we can go. Is AWS? Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say it.
She got her ass whooped, and a bloody mouth on top of it, and she still performed as best as she could. She came out with a W and everything. Like, I know that part is quote unquote scripted, but she really showed her tough scale right here, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like when wrestlers used to their first matches against Bob Sparkplug Holly or something like that, right? Is you get matched up with some real stiff competitors, and you just gotta show you all who you are at the end of it. So Tiffany definitely earned her stripes to me because Charlotte wasn't trying to give her anything, and she did the best that she could and still kind of sold the match as well. So shout out to Tiffany.
What up, Travis?
Well, I was gonna give it a C, just basically off of Tiffany alone. Like, my expectations for the match, I thought Tiffany was gonna lose completely. Like, because of what Charlotte is, and her just being like a dominant diva,
13-time
whatever you want to
champion
call it. All of
Crazy.
So I really didn't give no expectations of Tiffany winning this match. I mean, she completely surprised me. But overall, she exuded toughness from getting her mouth busted up, chipped tooth, everything.
Yeah, she didn't chip that tooth. That was fake. It was makeup on her teeth.
It was makeup on her teeth, so she never chipped her teeth.
She didn't chip her teeth, but she still busted open and all that though. Yeah, it was still a rough look. So, but you giving it? Would you say a C, Travis?
Yeah, I'm giving it a C.
All right, what up, babe? What's your grade?
So I was just kind of listening over everybody else's kind of thoughts there. So I am going to. So I was still kind of biased to the Jade and Naomi match, but I do want to give him a B minus, and I'll explain why. So Charlotte Flair came back to the Royal Rumble, and she'd been gone for a hot second and stuff. So like, there was a little bit of there was a lot of traction and build up to this, obviously, with her and Tiffany's back and forth they had. I think that was on Raw. It might have been on Raw or it was on SmackDown. I don't remember which one it was on. But there was a lot of build up to this. And then from watching the match, yeah, you did think that Tiffany was going to lose because she definitely fought to, keep that title and everything like that. In that Charlotte Flair was very stiff. She did no sell a lot of stuff I saw at a point in the match and stuff like that. But she definitely made Tiffany work for it. And Tiffany kind of made it, she made it an interesting show to watch. And like Justin said too, is that I wasn't really as familiar with a lot of her move set. Like he said, I kind of thought she was another one of like the generic divas, like that she kind of is more of just the look as opposed to being athletic. But she did actually put on a good show, and she did show like that going against Charlotte Flair was a good choice because I know there was like a buildup of who was going to go against Charlotte Flair and all this stuff for the WrestleMania. So I feel like they went with the right competitor, and that they got their money's worth. A lot of little girls were happy, watching the match for Tiffany and stuff like that. And like I said, it was a decent match. Like it was decent. In comparison to like the Jade Naomi match, it was decent. It was watchable. Like it wasn't as forgettable as some of the other men's matches tonight. Like I feel like it was more memorable for me. So I would give it a B minus then. Yeah.
I'm gonna give a quick grade because I know we getting fast on time here. It's getting to 40 minutes already. Awesome. But so for that match, I'm gonna go with a B minus. I was gonna go to C plus, B minus between the two of them. I think because of the history of the match, once it's all said and done, and like Tiffany's career, if her career continues the way they wanted to go and all, that match will be a bigger match in her career. Like people will recognize my mom in the back just walking through like nothing kid with the bonnet on and all that. But
we just gave you an insight of the black culture right there.
Oh,
you can't
man.
get that on no other show. I'll just let y'all know that. That's
but,
the real right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a. No, I'm gonna give it a C plus. I'm gonna go C plus with that. I think, like I said, it wasn't the greatest match. I probably won't be watching it over again, but like I say, for what it represents for a career. And lastly, real quickly, let's get to the main event. Travis, start with you. What's your letter? Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
I give it an A minus. A
Just a
minus.
great-
That's the
just a
overall great match. The build up and everything. The favor. I didn't actually think that him walking out was actually the favor. What's that? My favorite part was the whole put him through try to put him through the table and reignite. They had that little shield moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this on my own. Straight through the table. And then the overall that the whole turning, the low blow and the low blow and everything. So overall, that was like I'd say my favorite match throughout the whole first night.
Go ahead, Queen.
So all right, I'm not gonna completely mirror him on this one, but I'm gonna say a B plus because he is right. At the end of the day, it was like I feel like the acting in that one was really good. Like there was a lot more dramatics in between. It wasn't even the action parts. It was just the acting between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and then back to Roman and him trying to get Roman to the side with him, and that they're gonna go against CM Punk, and then obviously it like Roman's like, nah, I'm gonna still do me. I gotta do this for the family, and then I feel like that was still cool. I do feel like the way that the match ended wasn't like a highlight for me, but I do feel like maybe the majority of the match I would say was still very well paced. The build up to it was pretty good, and I mean, we know what Roman does. You know what I mean? Like we know how he is. We know that he like kind of bulldozes through. And we know that Seth is going to be the one doing a lot of high flying moves, and we know that CM Punk's going to do like roll ups, a lot of just a lot more of hugging moves and stuff like that. So it was kind of just trying to keep your attention on what was going on in the match, being there three people. But I did feel like for the ending of the night, I feel like it was a good ending for the match. I feel like it was a good ending for the evening. I would say that is probably, if I were to go rank it like 1, 2, 3, that would probably be my number 2. I would say the Jey Uso would be number 1, and then the Naomi match would be number 3 for me if I had a top 3 for the evening. But yeah, I would go with the B plus. It wasn't an A match. I wish it could have been an A match, but it was a B plus for me.
What up, Justin?
All right, so I gave my intro on how I felt about the match itself when I first started, and I don't want to echo a lot of the same points, but it's the same points for me. The ending is what takes for me a A match to a B match, and that was a B match for me. I just wish it was a clean finish. But I loved it. Travis hit a lot of great points. I actually slightly forgot about the Shield moment. That wasn't the Shield moment.
Yeah, me too.
Think about Dean Ambrose, like, yo, come on, Dean. Come on. You see what's happening here. You see what's in the works. Just slide on back. But it's a strong B. Strong B.
I can rock with it. I'm gonna give it A minus. I felt like for all the reasons y'all said, and for the opposite of Justin's reasons with the ending. Like I said, I'm okay with the ending. I kind of already knew it was going to happen, so I'm gonna give it an A minus. But I know Justin has to wrap it up soon and get out of here. There might be a pause on to wrap it up, but let us know real quickly, Justin, your overall opinion on night 2. Excuse me, before you get out of here.
And for the people at home, I coach softball, so I'm helping my daughter go to softball practice. That's why I got to get out of here.
And we started late. Shout out to Travis.
Indeed. So triple threat women's match. These individuals, my co-host, they're going to definitely dive into this match. To me, this is an A. That now that I have a perspective here, definitely an A match for me. I wanted Bianca to win, she didn't, but the ending itself was great. Each one of these competitors did great. I mean, when I talk about this could be up for the match of the year, this is up there for me for match of the year. All 3 competitors extremely gifted in this match. Shout out to Rhea too. All of them did well. Shout out, definitely an A. Next, Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. C for me. Why? Only because I don't think that Damian Priest actually showed up. I'm still waiting for him to show up. He showed up later on in the week, but he didn't show up during WrestleMania. This is to me, Drew McIntyre straight carried this whole match, destroyed him. When the street fight, you're looking for certain highlights, right? Chair shot here, tables there. And to my count, it was like 4-1 when it comes to Drew McIntyre outdoing what Damian Priest could do. So he ain't bury him, but it was close. Fatal 4-way Intercontinental Championship match: Dom, Braun Baker, Finn Balor, and Penta. That I recently, shout out to King, told me his name was Pentagon. I didn't even know it was the gone part, but shout out to Penta. To me, this match was this is a B. Why? Because Dom got his moment, and those that know, I'm rapidly becoming a huge Dom fan. He's doing everything the right way, and there's an angle for him to be great, and I think that he's starting to get that angle. His damn near uncle / father / whoever you want to call him, Eddie Guerrero, he helped pave this way. This lie, cheat, steal, dirty tactic. Shout out to Ric Flair as well. That is an angle in which he should be able to ride because no one else is really doing it like that. So if he can do that and be the new Judgment Leader, I'm okay with all those things. So shout out to Dom for winning this match. Strong B for me. I'm going to skip this one, go to the Logan Paul, AJ Styles match. This was a D. It was a dud for me. I'm taking it back. This is an F. this is an F. I'm going to go ahead and keep moving. WWE Women's Tag Team match. This was great for me. This was a great match. I think I can say this. I'm a Liv fan. It took a while for me to hit that corner, but that's a no for track. Okay, well, I'm a Liv fan. I take that. So I just like that. She's a great performer. She's a great competitor. But clearly this whole thing was for Becky Lynch to have her moment, and she got her moment. So shout out to Becky for coming back. My grade for this, C, high C, low B, high C. But we just going high C. We're gonna leave it at that. Undisputed Championship match, and I'll tell you why I skipped the match that I said it. Cody Rhodes, John Cena. I know they're gonna get into it by far. King is a component of Cody not being a guy, and unfortunately, I will admit this on our premiere show. I fell for the hype. I fell for the theme music. I'm sorry. As a result, I am sorry for everybody included. Guys, I was bamboozled. He's not the guy, and I had to eat that. Pause. And so this match was trash, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. To me, in my opinion, it wasn't that good. It doesn't have a rewatch ability to it. King keeps bringing that up. Can I rewatch it again? I cannot rewatch the match again. So I'm going to give it a D. It should be an F, but because Cody lost, it brings it to a D. Travis Scott was not needed. That's Travis's boy too, by the way. He was not needed in this match. So there's that. Now the match that I skipped, guys, I clearly I'm a theme music guy for some reason. I didn't even know that I was until just now. Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton. When I say that I was in Texas, I was cooking out, I was on the grill. I had no idea who his opponent was, Randy Orton's opponent was. And then I say his name. I almost dropped my phone, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Now, the reason why I'm giving this match a B, it should be an A, but I'm giving it a B because the match was okay. But the ending was great. When I say that I felt like a kid again. That's what this match brought out for me. And I didn't think that WWE could still do that as a almost 39-year-old man. Like I said, I felt for that the theme, the hype, the vibe, the viralness of Joe Hendry. My family hates me because I played only the things. I can't tell you how many matches that I watched TNA of Joe Hendry, but I can show you on my YouTube counter how many times I listened to say his name with the clap clap. So that's a strong beat for me. And like I said, I haven't been surprised, geeked out, and actually joyful in quite some time watching the WWE event. Other than Jay winning it, but it's like I said, it's kind of a different vibe. So that's my grade. And thank you for brother Larry for came. That's my brother from Get Off the Damn Fence, co-host on that with Calvin Thomas. You can catch me on YouTube with that too. That's my boy. So like I say, I hate the fact that I had to rush off. I love the fact that I had this opportunity to be with this ensemble, and I'm gonna get out of here. But thank you, King, for coming up with this whole thing. It's a beautiful concept, and I will be here every week for sure. God willing. Travis, I appreciate you. Queen, yet again, appreciate you. Thank you.
We appreciate you too.
Thank you all.
All righty. So this night
Alrighty.
night two. King, I can't hear you at all.
There we go.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was muted. I muted myself when he
Yeah,
was
we didn't
talking.
hear anything you said.
I was saying, I'm sorry. Go real quickly right now. Try to get past real quick. So let's go to the second night real quick. Io Sky successfully defends her Women's World Championship against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Queen, what's your opinion on it?
I'll
What's
give
your
it a B. I feel like Bianca always looks great. Io Sky looked great. Rhea, I don't really care much for her, but everybody kind of had very good synchronization in terms of pulling off all of their moves, especially the moves that were kind of combined move sets. So there was a lot of cool little highlights in the match. I don't really know as much about Io as I do about Bianca or Rio, but I'm gonna look more into her in the future. But I thought it was a good match, and that all the ladies look really nice. I thought it was a good match, especially for having to follow up the Jade and the Jade Naomi and the Charlotte and Tiffany match. So yeah, I think it was great. So yeah, I'll stick with what I said, B.
Travis, what's your grade?
I give it a B. Overall, it was a good match. This was another match I thought that Io was gonna lose because I was basically hoping for Bianca to keep her undefeated WrestleMania streak alive. 'Cause I really had expectations for her to win, but another one, it's really surprised me with the ending and everything because I really didn't expect Io to win at all.
I'm gonna give it an A. I thought Io should have won. I think I said that before in the chat. I thought this was the match to solidify her, without her actually getting a moment over Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, which are the two, top ladies in the industry. So for Io to get a victory over them and cleanly at WrestleMania, I think that puts her on another stratosphere as far as you're trying to tell the story that she's on the same level as them, if people didn't know already. So I thought that was fine. I thought it was actually the best match of WrestleMania in general. So I think I have an A- or a couple A-, but I'm gonna give this a straight A. I don't think it's people throw around the word classic, like it's the greatest match of all time and all that. It was a very, very, very good match. So I'm gonna give it a solid A. But let's keep moving. The second match on the card was Damian Priest loses to Drew McIntyre. Queen, let's start with you. What you think?
Drew always looks good. Damian Priest, I feel like was very boring, very stiff during the match. And kind of like how Justin had said, I don't feel like he showed up. And for that, I will give this match a C.
Travis?
I give it a C also. But like everyone would say, basically Drew carried the match.
Yeah.
I expected more out of Damian Priest.
Yeah, I'm giving it a C+. I didn't think it'd be a squash the way it was, but I was happy that Drew McIntyre squashed him. Like, it's about time. I see Drew now is going to, the U.S. champion and all that stuff. We'll talk about that later, but it was good to see Drew get a victory like this at WrestleMania. So I'm going to give it a C+. Next is Braun Breaker losing the Intercontinental Championship to Dominic Mysterio in a fatal four-way match that also included Penta and Finn Balor. Travis, you first. What's your grade on this one?
I give it a B+.
Okay.
You know what, Lil? Before the match even started, I was picking Braun Breaker, but looking at WWE social media, their social, they were showing Dom a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was feeling like, okay, tonight, that night, it was gonna be his night to win. So I'm happy for Dom.
So you
Hopefully
gave it
Dom could, huh?
So you giving it a B?
I'm giving it a B.
Okay. I'll give it a B minus. Nothing spectacular. It was the guys in the match. I expect them to have a good match and all that. I was happy that Dom won the championship. That's the main highlight of it again. They had some good spots and all that, but nothing unexpected. You feel me? This is what they should do. So nothing above and beyond. They just had a good match between the four of them. I'm going to give it a B. Let's see. Next, we had Randy Orton. Open challenge accepted by Joe Hendry. Randy Orton defeats Joe Hendry in a pretty quick match. What was your opinion on that? We'll go with you, Queen, first. What's your grade?
I'll give it a B minus because I'm biased towards Randy Orton anyways. Just because it was one of those, just because Kevin Owens couldn't, be there, it felt like it just was a few weeks of not really. They were trying to make it a build up, but it was just kind of like, okay, well, can we just hurry up and know who he's gonna go against it? So it was a cool little viral moment. We got to hear the Joe Hendry theme and all that stuff. But other than that, it was a match. It was a match, and Randy Orton always puts on a good match. I just didn't feel like it was a fantastic match to watch. It was kind of boring.
Travis.
I'm gonna give it a C also, just because of the ending, the whole moment with the whole RKO and the whole him doing the Joe Hendry turn and having the arms up and everything. But I expected someone else instead of Joe Hendry to actually be in the match. Actually, I really thought it was gonna be Aleister Black.
So I didn't think it'd be Aleister Black because they didn't want Aleister Black to take the L. And I don't feel like they could have had Randy Orton taking the L right there after everything that happened and him returning. So I thought they had to wait on him. But I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus because I think it's a moment again, like I said before, for Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry with Randy Orton, this moment right here will be something to be remembered for him as his first WrestleMania moment, really. If he becomes who we think he is, I think with it being an audible, like Queen said, it wasn't supposed to be him, so it'd be Kevin Owens. He did what he did. The place erupted when he was out there. They respected both of the guys, and I think the ending, people say it was more of a burial or whatever. I didn't think Randy buried him at all. I think Randy showed respect to him at the end and all, and said that I respect you, and this is what it's going to be. So I give it a B plus. I thought it was a good moment for Joe Hendry. Next, we have AJ Styles. Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles in the next match. What's your opinion on that, Queen?
I give it a D because I don't like Logan Paul. I don't really care much for watching him, and AJ Styles is kind of boring too. So it was very forgettable. I already forgot about it. D.
Travis. I'm gonna give it a D also. It didn't really do anything for me. I feel like this was just basically just thrown together, just to give probably Logan Paul something to do, just to be on the card.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna give it an F. I feel like this is probably the worst match of both of their careers. I think, like I said, AJ Styles is getting to the point. He's talked about it already. He just returned from an injury and then went back on an injury. So when stuff like that happens, he's getting to that point. And then Logan Paul, I questioned this during the show on Discord. I don't know if Logan Paul is actually practicing really for the game, like sports entertainment or being a wrestler. I don't know if he's just athletic enough and did stuff and now he knows stuff. I don't know if he's giving his all into continuing to get better. So his matches are starting to look stale.
It's just the same, yeah.
Just starting to be the same thing
stuff over and over again. And he almost does them all in the same order too. He doesn't know all his moves yet, I guess.
It was exciting the first time you see it, but it starts getting boring when you keep seeing it over and over again. And shout out to his finishing move. It's awesome, but that seems like that's the move that he probably worked on. Like while he was around doing other things, I'm gonna get a new finishing move instead of working on other things, part of his craft. So I'm gonna give it an F. I thought it was trash. Let's see. Next, we have the women's championship match where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez take the L to Lyra Valkyria and her mystery partner who took Bayley's spot, Becky Lynch. We'll start with you, Travis. What's your opinion on this one? What's your grade?
I give it a C. Just because of Becky's return. I really wasn't expecting Becky. Like Becky, for me, just made the whole match. For me. So just for that alone, for C.
Queen,
it was something that
I'm sorry. Go, Travis. Go, Travis. Finish.
It's just something that I wouldn't watch again. Like it didn't move me.
A lot of this WrestleMania I wouldn't watch again, but go ahead, Queen.
Just kind of mirroring what he said is that this is Becky's return. I was, there was humorous at the end when she like turned against what's her face and gave her the slap and all that stuff. But other than that, like, yeah, it was just kind of like, yay, Becky, you're back. Kind of had the expectation that Liv was going to win because I feel like Liv's been getting a big push. So I kind of already expected her to win. Lyra, I feel like it does a nice little move set. But other than that, it was kind of just a boring match, like especially after all the other women's matches we've seen. So it just kind of was, it was watchable, I guess. I'll give it a C minus.
Okay. I'll give it a C plus, just for Becky Lynch's return. Nothing memorable at all. I thought it was pretty mid, tell you the truth. Like I said, I probably wouldn't watch this match again. I wasn't even excited really for that. So it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. But let's see what's the next match. Is that the heavyweight? Yes. So main event time. Last match of the card. Cody Rhodes loses the WWE Championship to John Cena. Queen, what's your opinions on the match?
Cody was Cody, and John was John. Like it was a watchable match. I've been enjoying watching John Cena's whole heel turn. Like that arc has been awesome, especially during this farewell tour. But as I said, like I feel like the Jey Uso match was better than this match. So that's why I think it's crazy that the first match of WrestleMania was better than the last match of WrestleMania. So I'm gonna give it a B because it's John Cena's last WrestleMania. So I'm gonna give it a B. But I don't feel like it was as strong as the Roman Seth CM Punk match or stronger than the Jey Uso Gunther match.
Travis?
Mm-hmm. I basically say the same as Queen said. It was basically a B. Like it could have been better. It could have been totally a whole lot better. Now you're going to be shocked to hear this from me, but I felt like Travis Scott interference was totally unnecessary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. I almost forgot about that. I felt like that kind of changed the mood for a second. Like I know that Cody slapped him, but kind of who cares right now?
Right, but who cares right now? Like it would have been better if it was The Rock that came out for me.
Yeah, then that's what I thought was going to happen. To be honest,
I agree. I'm gonna give it a C minus. I wasn't giving it a D. I'm gonna give it a C minus. Y'all know how I feel about Cody. I think Cody would do great with the U.S. Championship. I think that fits his character and all that. He's a politician. He should be a heel. He dresses in suits all the time. I do not like Cody Rhodes as far as a character. I think it's all fake. It's nepotism to the extreme. Even though I have no problem with nepotism in sports and all that stuff, but man, it's what I feel like Cody Rhodes is in a theme song. Shout out to Downstain for doing that. But yeah, I thought it was a C minus. I was glad that John Cena won the championship. Really, this backlash main event between John Cena and Randy Orton gonna have way more like just heat behind it, people wanting to see it and all that, like than this Cody Rhodes one. So it was the main event of. Really, it should have been night one main event. Again, Cody Rhodes should have been night one. I feel
like Jey Uso and Gunther should have been the last match.
Yeah,
and I feel
on
like
night
they should have
one.
switched.
On
Yeah,
night one,
You could have had and then the CM Punk and the one really was the main event of the whole of. They should have been there. It should have been really the two main events should have been the triple threat. And the women's one, in my opinion. And that should have been the two main events. But that is what it is. But let's keep continuing. I know we're getting long on time here, y'all. This is the first episode. We had technical difficulties. We're trying to flow also, and we're talking about a PLE, a 2-night PLE is go along with an event. But let me play this from our sponsors over here at Fanatics real quick. Forgot to do that earlier in the show, but if you didn't know, we're sponsored by Fanatics. This I Was Told segment is brought to you by the folks over at Fanatics. Fanatics is the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love the most, including WWE. You can earn fan cash to redeem them in your orders, jersey protection for when your favorite player is traded or changes teams. They also have an unrivaled selection of authentic fan gear and Fanatics exclusives that are only available on the site. So if you need some merch and are interested in helping the channel, scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link, which is always in the description. Hey, shout out to Fanatics. But real quickly, I guess we can do
They
this
got
as a
WWE
combo thing.
merch.
Yes, they do WWE merch. But real quickly, could you guys, I guess, just for the week, wrap up what you thought about SmackDown and Raw, the ones after WrestleMania? Were they good enough for you? Did you think they hit the bar? You think they failed? What they should have done more of? What they should have done less of? Whatever you feel. I'll start with you, Travis. Just give your overall opinion of the week, of the matches, or the shows after WrestleMania. How you feel?
It was, to me, it basically felt like a normal Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania. With, a couple of surprises, quality matches. I would say, like, there's certain stuff about SmackDown that
3 hours.
that the whole 3 hours. I feel as if, like, I guess this whole, if they're going to turn into a fatal four-way match for the United States Championship, I feel as like it should be a triple threat.
I agree, but I don't know what's going on.
I think, like, to tell you the truth, I think that I don't know how they're gonna work it, or how they're gonna put this. But I feel since Aleister Black is back, I feel like he should do something with Damian Priest. Basically because of fighting styles.
Yep.
And
look and all that. So.
And look and all that stuff.
I agree. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, for that. I totally wasn't expecting the whole Gunther trying to beat up on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee coming out the crowd, and the whole podcast is trying to beat up Gunther. Like, I laughed basically the whole time.
I did too. I laugh at anything when it happens to Pat McAfee and
McAfee. But overall, it was basically just a
same old. Queen, what you think?
As far as the Raw, my two highlights tonight were, the Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins alignment. That was a cool little moment. Let's see, and I actually didn't really, I really didn't feel like anything that happened in the night kind of was that big. It was just kind of continuances of everything that happened at WrestleMania. It was just kind of just more discussions back and forth, more doing, they're doing their little runs and their promos against each other and stuff. And, and Jay celebrating his win. Like, that was really the highlight of the night. It was just him celebrating his win, and everybody getting into that. And as I said, the little Braun Breaker turn, Braun Breaker's become his little dog. So now he's making some weird things. So I'm kind of interested to see if he's going to create a faction.
Yeah,
because Seth Rollins might be cooking something over there. And, I feel like his character might be getting some bones to it.
Yeah, they're saying it might be like an Evolution 2.0 or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
I thought it was underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean, they surprised folks and all that, but I knew everybody that was going to return. It was already up in the air that Aleister Black was returning, that Rusev was returning. He had a contract going on, so it wasn't. They didn't give you that Brock Lesnar return. You feel me? Of before, when you oh my goodness, Brock Lesnar came back, or something like that. So it wasn't that type of vibe to me. I mean, it was still some good matches with some good continuation of stories or new stories happening. I appreciated that one. Still gave you some good matches, but in all, it wasn't, like I said, it didn't give you a big enough surprise for me. And also, I was fine with that. I thought it was pretty, man. So if I'd went to WrestleMania, I'd have been disappointed this year. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially with the ticket prices and all that. But yeah, so who knows?
Yeah, that was one thing I thought was cool about WrestleMania was how they set up the stage this time and how they had the tables up in there as part of the stage. That was probably one of the coolest parts about the WrestleMania, actually, for me. And that wasn't even
people sitting on top of the Sean.
It was like a side. It was like a side quest, basically. But that was probably the coolest part of the WrestleMania. And that if you got those seats, I bet you probably had a good time that night.
That was
awesome. The price of the stuff, as I said, was it's astronomical as it always is. But it was still, at the end of the day, I guess that was still a good WrestleMania. And on the SmackDown that came out, and it was the same stuff, like you said. It was just kind of okay, we're just repeating everything that we learned at WrestleMania, and just setting up, I guess, the continuation of each person's story, basically.
I agree.
Yep, that was it for me.
But yeah, so I guess that's basically gonna be it, guys. We can get to wrapping up the show. But before we do, y'all, shout out to our partners as well. If you didn't know, over at Playback. I guess follow us over there. We're trying to get to our next goal, I guess, of 1,000 people. But if you didn't know, now you did. Shout out to Playback. Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show. Hey, shout out to the first episode of We Talk Combats as we recapped WrestleMania 41 Raw SmackDown afterwards. I want to thank my co-hosts, Queen, Travis, Justin, and also still prayers out to Devin. We'll see him next week, hopefully. We'll see Justin as well again next week. We should have the show more, formatted by next week, guys. We don't plan on having every show over an hour. We had to talk about, like I said, the 2-night PLE and all that stuff and try to get everything together. But it'll mainly be recapping Raw and SmackDown for the week, giving our opinions on what's going on and stories as well if we have time, like The Rock and Triple H and their issues. We didn't get to that, so we'll probably get to that next week. But yeah, other than that, y'all, also, if you haven't, follow our other channel here, Cap and Crown, where myself and Rel talk about new and old school basketball and other things as well. We just chop it up weekly. Usually have a recap show once a week and also give you some old school knowledge another day on Wednesday. So follow us over there if you haven't already. We're on our way to our 5,000, our next goal of 5,000 subscribers there. Also, give us a follow at Cuz We Geek, where Rel, my co-host on Cap and Crown, and also shout out to Will, his cousin, talks about all things geek culture, movies, anime, television, anything like that. So give them a follow. I think they're on their way to 500 subscribers now, so they're trying to get there. Help them out. Other than that, I guess I'll leave the floor to my co-hosts, Queen and Travis. You got anything to say? I guess I'll start with you, Travis. What you want to talk about? You want to plug yourself real quick? Don't go too long because you're going to be on here weekly. You're not a guest. You're a host. But
I know I'm not a host, but yeah,
you got to
y'all
say,
can follow me. Y'all can follow me on social media at _Chavito_. That's my platform where I do skits, comedy stuff, maybe some stuff I can incorporate now since I'm doing We Talk Combat. So I'm gonna try to incorporate some wrestling stuff and stuff too. Yeah, some wrestling skits and all that stuff. So yeah, so got me out to follow. We trying to work on some stuff. You know, hopefully I can get another 2 million in my videos.
Hey, so tell them. So yeah, I've definitely follow him, y'all. This is his first podcast. You can't tell he was a little nervous. We had to pop his cherry pause, but he's here though. Like I said, bro, it'll be a regular thing. It's the pilot episode, basically. Y'all, like I say, just stay here, deal with us, like and subscribe, and all that nonsense. But babe, let them know about yourself as well. I'm glad that you were able to host too.
Well, I'm Queen. I'm typically a moderator over on all the Glow Sun Productions chats for all of their shows and everything. I actually did the themes for their old show, and I will be doing their themes for their upcoming shows, and hopefully I can make a theme for this show as well. But I guess the main thing I wanted to plug on here is the She Talks Otaku. So we're going to do another anime screening on Playback next month. We will have a date posted for that, but if you haven't already, you know, just make sure you're watching and that like you follow on Glow Sun Productions, because we'll have all of our other shows basically formatted and scheduled on there as well. So that's really all I wanted to say. Glad to be here. I had fun.
And she hosts that, by the way.
Yeah,
she
thanks.
is the host of She Talks Article. That's her. But other than that, y'all, I guess like I said, like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody for checking out the first episode of We Talk Combats. We'll be back next Sunday. Not sure of the time 100% yet. We still got to lock that down to make it. We're going to try to make a weekly time. We'll have a time where you be dedicated to doing this, and you can come every Sunday and check us out. But we appreciate everybody that followed us today, that watched the show. Like, subscribe, share, dislike, whatever you do, just get us in that algorithm, because once folks check us out, they're going to love us. We appreciate y'all so much for doing this. Shout out to Glow Sun Production and my homeboy, my co-host as well, Rel, for doing what he does, the whole backdrop and all that stuff, everybody included. And we out, man. We Talk Combats. Peace.
Hey.